Yeah. So the so the law says a person's crime is murder, suicide, murder. Um, and they actually went through it at the beginning of the case. The murderer commits death murder, something like that, because death is post-mortem. It means it's post horrific lie or something. That's why the ME, medical examiner, has a post-mortem report. Yeah. So they try stealing aspects of the law. So the judge, he believes that he can, well, their employment, because when you get a job, the belief of your employment is, says like bond agent, the belief of your employment is to design profit, for the buyer. yeah. Yeah. So all my shit went to Congress. Yeah, physically. So the belief of a bond agent is design profit for the buyer, which isn't the government. And to ensure that the property bonded is encompassed within the financials or something like that. It's been a long time since I read anything about it. So as a bond agent, there's court disputals, and they number bonds: class 1, class 2, class 3, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and how insurance finds crime. They could dispute a tier, improper bond, or whatnot. I don't know how someone could ever file an improper bond, but anyways, yeah, especially with computers, mark this box, mark that box. There's a box. It says if the property falls in the middle category of two titles or two topics, that you can request the bond to go to Congress. Yeah. And Congress will determine whether or not it's a bond or not. So this bond agent, criminal agency, under criminal design for the future, said we don't deal in the middle ground. So the law says if you're turning in any bond and any question is on the bonds you purchase, you deal in everything that is on that bond. The law doesn't give you the choice to purchase a bond and not deal with the topic on the bond in any fashion. Physically. So, yeah. So he hired everybody, and he told everybody, we don't deal with the middle ground. That box is always left blank, which the law says is innocently looked over, because the person can say, we only deal with the factual investment. The people are going to be wealthy. So some people, they're bonding 2 acres with steel fence. Yeah. Yeah. So so I sent mine to Congress. You're not allowed to profit off of me. Just so you know. And Congress told them that, oh God, this guy wrote this bond. We're not allowed to profit. In fact, it's just best to say that he's right. And not only is it just best to say that he's right, by law, the judges are supposed to separate and ensure that each employee isn't profited off of at their work. So we're filing the separations of profit on these bonds or whatnot. Yeah. Just use our hand sanitizer at the table. Yeah, my roommate's up here. Yeah, so the bond said a stake. It said, it said wrought iron stake fence. Which, if you own a farm, you stake out what land you're going to buy, or the land beyond it. So they beat me up during employment, and it's hard to follow, like in tax law, Uber, because the judge isn't right. If the judge was right, it would have been written. You'd be saying as written. The employer wouldn't be saying as I said. The employer's giving people documents as I said. I've won these court cases. I'm right. So, and the judge would be like, well, as written, if he was winning. So there's like Schedule A, Schedule C, Schedule E's that you would file for Uber drivers and whatnot. Schedule E is rights to land and traveling the land and shit like that. So I believe it is. I have to look into it. But anyways, so and then there's the whole innocent and good con. So it's like Schedule D, Schedule E, So anyways, so stakes, fences, add-ons are contingent to what they are. So this isn't a fence. This is a guard. That yeah, not allowed to have guards in DC. So um, yeah, yeah, and normally companies like the one I worked for, um, so the DOD ordered that I'm approved to have my bond license. Went to court, and they hired me. I filed a bunch of bonds. The DOD said, "Hey, why is he working there?" They fired me. So, so I sent them all to Congress. Yeah, and rewrites on bonds are illegal on top of it. So, um, yeah, they're like, you wrote a bond to control the law and the government. I'm like, hell yeah. Simple work. Yeah. So, anyways, I was living in California, and the state demanded all homeowners, demanded every homeowner either clean their property and have it look presentable, or the state will kick them out of their home. They will take that, and they took a bunch of people's homes, actually. They wouldn't mow their lawn, they wouldn't plant flowers. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people. In the determinants to do that, they were talking about eminent domain, which only applies to businesses. You can't apply eminent domain to a home or a hotel or a corporate structure, any of that stuff. You can only apply it to a business. And so in talking about eminent domain, they learned that stakes were used in California to map out the home plot, and people just throw fences up. Just put a board there, and now you got a fence. Yeah. Yeah. So the mayor, because they disputed the bond, said it wasn't proper. The notes clearly said white picket fence, which is a white picket fence. You put stakes because it's a picket fence. It's a stake picket fence. Picket means stake. You can't wood on top of it. Yeah, so anyways, um, um, so the mayor tried stealing the returns of bonds because here I am in an insurance case. Bond went to Congress. Congress said we have to separate the property. The property is deemed fulfillment, a force. Fulfillment, it's called. It's not a force. It's a higher up judge issued the law, and everybody knows it. Not only do they know it, they've already lived the completion of it, and which is the land and or law of the country or something. And in an insurance crime trying to steal the case, they try using that as confirmation they own the case. So anyways, moving on. They went to declare eminent domain on this because he had two stores. He had one on one side of the street, and then if you looked directly across the street, he had another store. And he called them Store 1, Store 2. And yeah. And I guess it just pissed the mayor off. And yeah. Yeah, right across the street from each other. So the mayor declared eminent domain on him illegally. He didn't just declare illegally, they couldn't figure out what store was eminent domain. Yeah. In the city courts, the mayor was like, well, it's addressed, and mayor city hall maps don't see address, they see zones. So in a city hall map there are no addresses. It's this zone, these occupants. And so there's a big old argument about it. The facts of my case do not present property and profit for you, so the reasoning of law is not a determinants of investigation to commit crime or implement against people. That shit's illegal. So it's pretty horrible. Yeah, he was an Iran business owner on top of it. Well, something like that. Pakistani or something. What's up, boss? Can I buy a single from you? Excuse me, sir. You wait. Hello.